Alright, welcome ladies and gentlemen to another live stream. I know I've been doing a lot of these in the last little while, and the reason being is that I'm just really enjoying these. I'm really enjoying doing these live streams, and I really want to continue doing these because they are freaking fun. Hey, what we're gonna do today is I'm gonna build a virtual machine today, again, and we're gonna mess around a little bit in Linux Mint because I've been really intrigued by Linux Mint recently, but I haven't really gone around to using it. Now, one of the reasons why I was really intrigued by Linux Mint is just the sheer amount of stuff that you can get from something like it. Because it's a really easy to get into Linux distro that I think can be great for literally anybody who is wanting to start up with some form of Linux. So I'd say let's just jump straight into it. And now, I have not created a virtual machine of this because I want you all to experience the installation process with me as I go. I know I do this kind of stuff a lot, so this probably should not be too much of a surprise to a lot of you, but yeah. Let me find the ISO, which is right over, right about here. And, yeah, we're gonna say Ubuntu, 64-bit, because this distro is based on Ubuntu, so we're gonna use that. Oh, hang on. Before I save it, I need to make a separate folder for it, so we're gonna go into junk, virtual machines, and we're gonna call this one Linux Mint. Alright, that should do it. Give it like 40 gigs. Actually, let me check something real quick. This is something that I always like to do before I even do much of anything with this. And that's the disk manager. If it opens, there we go. And I'm pretty sure this is supposed to be that. How much of it can I use for it? Wait, there's like 96 gigs free in it? Really? That doesn't sound right. Hang on. Oh, really? Okay. That's great. Then I can just do with this whatever I'd like. Okay. It's always good. Let's go full screen on that bad boy. And we're gonna have some fun. Now, you will find out in a moment as to why this distro is so popular among so many people. Literally everybody who makes Linux videos and who recommends distros to other people recommends Linux Mint. And it's gone to the point where it's a bit of a cliche for a lot of people. And it's not hard to see why, because this has been talked about to death at this point. And there's a very good reason for that. So, before I do much of a test drive, I want to install the system first. And get into actually using the system after that. As per usual, there's going to be some performance problems because we are running this on a virtual machine. Install multimedia codecs? Sure, why not? It's not like we're gonna play much of any video on here, but you can always do it if you so desire. Let me check something. Do we have NeoFetch even on here? It appears that we do. Little under 1,000 packages on this live install. Oh god. That's not a good first sign. Yeah, we're gonna erase the entire disk and just install Linux Mint all over it. Doesn't matter too much. Just give it a shot. Yeah. That will be my password. A really strong password, I know. Sorry. Okay. So we're gonna let that do its thing. And in the meantime, I can tell you a little bit about what I've been doing, actually. Let me just show you something real quick. Because this is something that I'm personally really excited about. So, people who have been following me in the last little while, or in the last couple of months, know that a little while ago I got a new puppet to use in PhoenixStarYT videos. Where do I have it? Right here. And yeah, I've been making some progress at making some new vectors for it. And I recently just had to make a new one where I had his paw up and stuff like that, so that's great. I can actually show you the Flash files that I have. I have a fair few of them. And each one has a different pose to it. So for example, I have one where it's literally just a puppet when but he's looking at the audience. This is going to make it much easier for me to not reposition everything every single time I open up the Flash file. Because that's an issue that I had with the last puppet that I did, and you can tell that a lot of vectors just are not consistent. Like, I had a lot of continuity and consistency problems with the last puppet that I used. Where even are my files? There they are. So with a lot of these, you could tell that there were a lot of problems with consistency as to where the eyes are located and everything. I mean, here it's not quite as noticeable, actually. But there's a fair few where I had issues. Some of them even had resolution issues, so they would suddenly just not be in center of the canvas anymore. And they would suddenly jump a little to the left or the right or whatever. It's a mess. It's also as much of a mess of this as this playlist that I have. That's a joke, obviously, but not so much. The playlist that I use for these live streams is still a mess. You know, this installation process shouldn't actually take all that long. It should be done in a little bit. There's not all that much stuff that this needs to install, aside from a lot of stuff that comes with the desktop environment that this is installed with, which we'll go over in a little bit after this is done installing. But once it's all done, we can actually get into looking what this actually comes with. I sort of know already what this comes with. I just haven't really played around with it much. One cool thing about Linux Mint, I think, is that it comes with Synaptic, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it does come with Synaptic Package Manager. Which, honestly, if you want to know how I feel about this little thing, this is just a program that that you can use to install packages with the easy way, without having to go online and looking for a bunch of these packages. But it's not that much. It's not all that good, honestly. It's not that much better than to install them through terminal, because Synaptic Package Manager has a very unintuitive user interface that I do not like it. I don't like it at all. There's also something that I want to look up real quick, and that's that Slack application. I've seen Slack a few times in various Linux distros. Like, a lot of distros put it up as kind of like a selling point to their distro, and what the crap is going on here? Google looks all weird. Okay. Let's see what we have. Slack is your digital HQ. Transform the way you work with one place for everyone and everything you need to get stuff done. Okay. Is there any place that I can check this out, actually? Let me see if there's any Google images of this program. Oh, so it's kind of like Discord, but for businesses. That makes sense. I don't know if I would actually use that, honestly, but I'm sure that a lot of people will find use in that. Actually, let me just put my Brave browser over there so I can easily grab it for whenever I need to do something in it. But yeah, Slack is a weird one, honestly. I never got why it's being put up as kind of like a selling point for a Linux distro. I never thought of it that way. I never thought that it was anything to include with it. Oh, and they actually also tell you that you can install, that you can run Windows software through VirtualBox or with Wine or whatever, which are both very good ways to run Windows software. I personally would say either Wine or KVM are the best ways to run Windows on Linux, or even something like VMware, which is what I'm using right now to make to run this virtual machine. Speaking of, I should actually check something out in here quick. Do we have my preferred resolution in here? Doesn't look like we do, but let's see what happens when I just try and run this command. Let's see what happens. Not found in available modes. Okay. We should be able to fix that, no problem, with just a few commands. Or we should just, or we can run it in a different resolution, which is going to cause a lot more problems than it's probably going to be worth. But you know, doesn't matter much, I think. Oh. The most important part is that we at the very least get a desktop that we can work in. Because I do want to try some things out in this environment. What do we have here actually? Receive fixes and security updates all in one place. Yeah, don't use this. I think this is actually a tool called Update Manager. Yeah, Update Manager. Don't use this. If you want to update your software, just use, if you want to update any packages in your Linux distro, do yourself a favor and use Terminal, because it is going to grab every package that needs to be updated or that has updates available, and it's going to make things a lot less of a mess, and it's going to be a lot faster too. Because doing it from the GUI is going to make things a lot more difficult, a lot slower and whatnot. I need to see something real quick. This is using GNOME Terminal. Okay, I want to switch that out for something different. Because as much as I like GNOME, I don't really like their terminal much. Even though there are a lot of great things about this terminal that I do like. It's a very simplistic terminal, and that's the thing about it. That's the thing. It's a very basic terminal. Can we do... Yeah, we can go green on black. For whatever reason. So we can go neo-fetch and it should all be in green. That looks really not great. I mean, I guess if you really want to have the ultimate... continue testing, I will... reboot this later. If you really want the ultimate C matrix experience, oh, it does not exist in this instance of Linux Mint, I guess. Oh well, that's okay. Let's just log out of this and boot straight into our new Linux Mint desktop, I guess. And remove the installation medium, then press enter. Can we actually do it from here? Let me see. Removable devices. Oh, it's already disconnected. Okay, beautiful. Restart then. I'm actually excited. So, let me tell you a little bit about Linux Mint before while it's starting up. So this distro, like I said, is based on Ubuntu, which is based on Debian. So it shares a lot of similarities with both of them, particularly with Ubuntu, because it has a lot of things going on, like say it has PPAs that you can add on top of it, and you know, things like that. It isn't very heavy on packages, I think, at least from what I understand. It should be a relatively light system to run, from what I've heard. Holy griefus. Okay, yeah. I should probably also do something about that theme. Oh, that name. Oh, gosh. That's terrible. Okay. Let's see if my resolution is available yet. It simply does not recognize the actual resolution of my display. Which is a shame. Maybe that's just the thing with Xrendar. Maybe whatever this is will help. Nah, it doesn't really look like it. You know what? We're just gonna use this. And we'll see if we can fix that up later. But before we do much of anything else, let's run an update. Because that's the first thing that you always do whenever you start up a new instance of Linux. Whenever you do a fresh install, always run your updates. So that's what we're gonna do right now. Update. And we're also gonna do a sudo apt upgrade. There we go. And now it's just a matter of waiting for all of these updates to install. There's a lot of them. There's several hundred packages that needs to be upgraded. And that's because this ISO is a little bit on the old side. It's not a very new... It's not the most up-to-date ISO, I think. Even though I believe that the latest version of this is probably 20.3, which is several months old at this point, I think. These things don't get updated very frequently, and that's the thing. It also isn't a net install, so it won't be, you know, grabbing the latest packages from the repo during the installation. It includes a lot of pretty old packages, so you would have to update those immediately after install, which is not a bad thing per se. But it would be nice if you can have a little more recent packages in there. But that's just me. You can also see it grabs from the latest Ubuntu repos, which is always great. Let's open up a new window and see how many packages we're working with here. 2009 packages. Ooh, that's rough. That's pretty damn rough. I do not feel good about that. I mean, you know, I can't say I'm too surprised, because it does come with a lot of stuff out of the box. Let's actually check out some of the programs that this comes with. You have your archive manager, backgrounds, backup tool. Let's actually check out the backgrounds for this. Yeah, these are all pretty familiar. We're gonna minimize that real quick. So this is the default wallpaper that you get with Linux Mint nowadays, which is a pretty cool looking wallpaper. This one is a lot more flat. This is one this one is pretty damn popular among many people, I think. But this one is a lot more classic. This is so much more classic. I actually remember having a laptop which I installed Linux Mint on, and I had this exact wallpaper on there. It was a really cool experience. It was a really fun wallpaper to mess with. OpenJDK 11. That's an old Java package. There are also some other cool things that this comes with while this is installing. So the first thing obviously, is the file explorer, which it comes with, which happens to be Nemo. I am not the biggest fan of Nemo. I don't really like its overall feel and everything. I personally prefer Thunar, but you can very easily remove Nemo from here, and then you can have and then you can install Thunar just as easily using the package manager. It's not that big of a deal, but this is a pretty good file explorer for those who are looking for a minimal file explorer, which is similar to something like Windows. But again, it's not really my thing. I personally prefer Thunar because I'm most familiar with it. I guess that's the thing with a lot of Linux distros. You just stick with the ones that you're familiar with. Right now, I don't really know whether or not I should do much of anything in my system until my before my system is even done updating. I never quite know what to do when my system is updating. That's the thing. Let's just bring this to a bigger scale. I do want to install some more packages to make this a little bit better. So I would very much like to install my terminal of choice, which is Kitty. And I probably also will grab a better bash RC and a kitty.conf file that that one of my favorite YouTubers use. So we'll be having a lot of fun with that, but let's just get all of this installed first, and after that we'll see what we'll do. It shouldn't take all that long anymore. Right now it's taking a pretty long while because it is grabbing all of these packages through a virtual machine. And yeah, virtual machines are not the fastest things in the world. I really like this, by the way. You get a little progress bar at the bottom here, which I have been using Fedora for a little while now, because I really was intrigued by Fedora for a while, because it is a little bit more of because it has a little more recent packages without being unstable. It doesn't break quite as easily as a rolling release, like Arch Linux, for example, which is always great. But Fedora, in its package manager, by default at least, does not have a progress bar when you use it in terminal. So you would end up with just a lot of text flying by without having any idea of how far it's going to, how far it is. That's a lot of code. It's not really a lot of code. It's just a lot of lines of text, really. Which I guess also is a lot of code. But this isn't really a lot of code. It is literally telling you that it is unpacking these, and these are all the packages that it's unpacking right now. So basically it's updating a bunch of packages in my Linux system. Now, if I were to do a lot of code, I would be using C matrix or whatever. Which is always a great thing. Oh, great. What have I done? That's not what I meant to do there, but yeah. How you doing, Yoshi Chuck? I hope you're having a wonderful day. I know I am having a pretty decent day. Things are going pretty decent. It's going pretty dang well. And I think I just broke this. What's C matrix? How do you explain this? If you know the movie The Matrix, you probably know that it has a lot of text in green flying down from the sky in the intro. C Matrix is pretty much that in your terminal. So you run a little program called C Matrix, and you have a bunch of characters fly down across your terminal. So disconnected. What do you mean disconnected? I'm still connected according to this. So I know what you're talking about. I can actually show you what it looks like later. I might as well, right? Why not? I'm doing pretty well, thanks for asking. You're very welcome, my bud. Glad to hear you're doing good. It's always wonderful to hear. Alright, come on! Finish already! I want to play with this. I want to play around with Linux Mint, which is something that I have not been able to do ever. I've never played around with this. I used this distro for a little bit, and then eventually I decided, no, I'm not gonna use this. I'm gonna switch to something else. And after that, I completely switched to, I think it was Ubuntu. My favorite YouTuber is DanTDM. Although it used to be Jacksepticeye for the longest time. And then DanTDM made one video that made me go, okay, DanTDM is my favorite YouTuber of all time. I love this man. He is flippin' awesome. So, yeah, okay. Now let's install some packages. I want Git, I want Kitty. And do we have Brave Browser on here? What do we have here? Update Manager, go away. I know them, not personally. DanTDM and Jacksepticeye are... they're flippin' fantastic. I love them so much. Alright. Install those. And... come on. Why are those last couple of percentages... why do those always last the longest? Okay. Now we can actually get rid of this from my panel, and I can look up Kitty, and I think I should be able to just drag it over in there. Okay, that's not how that works. Okay. Brave Browser is great for getting rid of those pesky ads. I do want to install Brave Browser on this. The big thing, however, though, is can I actually already install it using this? Install. Great. Okay, let's go search for Brave. Does it know it? No, it can't find it. So I guess I need to look that up. Which isn't that big of a deal. I can easily install Brave Browser, but for the time being, let's just go Firefox. The first thing that I always like to do with the Kitty terminal is I grab a little thing in here. That's the wrong site. Chris Titus Tech always has a really nice terminal that I love to use. Let's see what we have in here. Yeah, he just has his Kitty thing inside of there. So what we can do is I can actually just grab this. And I should be able to download this file from, or this folder at least. Or I can also just download this as an entire zip, and then we can use that. Okay, terminal. Terminal, open for me, please. Thanks. I don't know why it doesn't work sometimes. Firefox is a classic. It's been dying out recently, which is a real shame. I used this quite a bit back in the day. Not all that much. I was mostly a Google Chrome user until I found Brave browser, and I was like, yeah, we're gonna switch over to this because I love this. Okay, ls-al, I need to unzip Fedora Titus. Okay. That did that, and now what I can do is I can go into it using my terminal. cd Fedora. Having another fun session with Linux, and yeah, Brave browser is a great browser. I am having another fun session with Linux. I'm mostly just trying some things out in here because I've never experimented with Linux Mint before. And I just wanted to have a little bit of fun with this. Okay, so what I need to do, I think, is go mv kitty. And then I want to move this to my home folder into .config. I think that's how that works. Yes, that works. I actually have a pretty terminal now. That is awesome. Oh, I am so happy about that. The fact that this actually worked first try. I'm so happy. What I would also like to do is do something with workspaces, because having a terminal is nice, but I also like to have separate workspaces for my terminal and for my web browser. Google being the empire when it comes to search engines. It's not just that, but it's also the fact that Google is constantly spying on you. And I do not want to have that anymore. How do I change my workspace things? How do I do this? Hot corners. I do not have that. Okay. Yeah, let's check the panel. That doesn't do much of anything. Oh, that's nice. Tell them I said hi too. Window tiling. Oh, okay. Yeah. Because this also has that. It doesn't have that same kind of thing going on as a tiling window manager, like Awesome Window Manager, which is what I personally prefer over this, but you know. It's nice that tiling is even a thing at all in this. Yeah, that's not going to do much for me, unfortunately. Oh well. One thing that I also would like to do is, well, look at this. It's all just a little bit white and bright, and I would very much like to change the appearance so that it wouldn't be all like, ah, I'm blind. So we're gonna do that real quick. Themes. I would prefer having all of my settings in one convenient place, and not having everything separated like this. Because right now I'm just all like, why, where am I supposed to look for all of my settings? I mean, it's bad enough when Windows gives you like 4 different options for it. They have terminal, they have CMD, they have Windows 7 settings. Seriously, Microsoft, fix that crap. And they have Windows 11 settings. Which is just the worst. It's already bad enough when Windows does it, but this is just not helping in the slightest. So, I would very much like to, for them to fix that at some point. There's also something else that I like to use in here. The Nordic theme is not in here. That's a shame. What other themes do we actually have in here? Windows 10 light theme? What? Oh, I gotta check this out. I gotta see this. Windows 10. Okay! Okay, that's wonderful. Let's see, do we also have Windows 10 icons in here? No, we do not. We do have Adwaita though. We also have GNOME and High Color. Do we have a classic look for this? Because I know that there's a classic icon theme. I hear a cat. Yeah, we actually do have a cat over here. Not in the room right now, but there is a cat somewhere around the house. Yeah, I am not going to be using this. It does not look good. I don't like that. I'm sorry, but I really do not like that look. Especially because I think this theme is kind of broken. I don't think this theme really works well. So that is not going to work in the slightest for this. Unfortunately. Okay. There is something else that I would like to do to my terminal quick. Because because there is something that Chris Titus Tech gave people access to that I absolutely adore. So I need to open up terminal again for that, and I think it's inside
so you want
of
EVs, you have come
Holy crap!
Is that Tom Brady? Yeah. Comes in to recharge, get software updates, you know.
Oh, goodness. That audio was way too loud. Alright, Nano Bash RC. And, oh, this has all of that stuff in there. I reckon it should not hurt if I paste all of this in there. And, let's see what happens. And let's break our terminal. Hello? Terminal open. Hey! Not bad. Yes, my friends, we actually have a decent looking terminal now. With a bunch of beautiful colors. It doesn't really fit the aesthetic of Linux Mint all that well, because it's mostly just green and it's mostly just white and blue now with a black background. But you know what? I like it. I really like it. And let's actually see if the font actually also appears to be working, which is surprising to me. Because whenever I do this in a different Linux system, the font tends to break because it is trying to find a font that is simply not there. And this appears to be working really well with the font, which is always nice. So yeah, I'm really happy with what we have so far. However, we are not... what I would like to do is break some things in here. Or I could try to have some fun with other things like a window manager or whatever. But we're already doing that in Fedora. So, what do you guys think we should do? What are we gonna do in this beautiful environment that is Linux Mint? I am curious. I could actually install a different desktop environment on here. Is sudo apt search a thing? Does that work? Ah, okay. Beautiful. Then we're going to look for, let's say Budgie. I think that would be cool. Budgie appears to be in here. Or we can also... Now, you know what? I'm actually feeling deepened today. It's not in the repo. Are you kidding me? Okay, install Deepin in Linux Mint. I mean, why use the default Cinnamon desktop environment when you can also install something completely different? Yeah, we can actually throw that in there. Let that do its thing. Typing ASMR. I don't have any ideas, not a genius at these types of things. It doesn't necessarily have to be something that I'm doing with this right now. Or something, or even something that makes sense. Just it can be something as silly as try and run a Minecraft server in a virtual machine or something. I really don't mind. We can quite literally do no wrong inside of Linux. Especially because we are literally installing things in a virtual machine, so it doesn't really matter. So long as we're just having fun with it. That's the big thing that matters. Yeah, we can always just update those later. For the time being, let's get this installed. Okay. The following packages have unmet dependencies. Okay. DDE session UI. It is not going to be installed. And when I type it in manually, it suddenly is going to be installed. This is going to take a while, because as you can probably see, there's a lot of packages to be installed, ladies and gentlemen. So it's best to just sit back and enjoy the show. Ah, wonderful. Wait, how many wallpapers is this downloading? 81 Deepin wallpapers, or is that just a module number or something? I don't know. That's a lot of text. Yeah, that's one thing about Linux. You will be seeing a lot of text in this. You'll be seeing a lot of text. How are your plushies doing? They are doing just as great as always. Oh, and if you're wondering what that thing up there is, that's my old microphone. So, yeah. I can actually show you while this is installing all of the packages. So this right here is my old microphone. I don't use it anymore, and you can probably see it also, because it's pretty dusty. It's been picking up dust for, I think, 2 years. So, yeah, this thing is starting to get pretty old, and it's been showing its age, and it's especially been letting us hear its age. Because this thing does not sound quite as good anymore as it once did when I initially got it. It looks bent. Well, this is actually supposed to look like this. This is how it came out of the box. And that is because this is how it's supposed to look. This is how it's supposed to look. So, yeah. But this thing was, I think I paid about $100 or something for it. And I used it for a good few years until eventually it started to sound really bad. You could constantly hear like a in the background, and it was the worst sound in the whole world. It was not fun to listen to in the slightest, and it wasn't. And I think I even used it in a couple of PhoenixStarYT videos way back when the channel first started. It was not good. It was really not good. Also, props to those who have been sticking around on PhoenixStarYT since the very beginning of the channel. While Deepin is installing, what we can do is we can actually look back a little bit at some of my older videos while we're at it. So, yeah, this is my channel right now, by the way. As you can see, a lot of live streams, not a lot of videos. Compare that to this, where there's a lot more videos and a lot less live streams. Not that that's that big of a deal, but I honestly really want to get back to making videos again. That must have sucked. Good thing that this mic that you're using is not having problems. Yeah, it's a bloody miracle as well, because it's I dropped it on the floor once. I was one day just being an idiot, and I dropped this thing on the floor, and it was, yeah, it was not pretty. One of my first videos was a point of view on pony life. Kom eens on. What even is this? I don't remember much of anything that... Oh! Yeah. Oh yeah, this thing. Please do more reviews like what you did with Shrek and that one spin-off for MLP. Not a brony, by the way. You mean the Pony Life series or My Little Pony A New Generation? Because... I mean, I could potentially make a video on Pony Life again. And yeah, I actually do have a few reviews in the works right now. One of which I actually started editing very recently. I just haven't really gone around to doing much with it because... you know, I've been really busy with getting vectors ready for my puppet. So I can use those for the review. And I really want to get the vectors done before I do much of any editing for the actual video. But yeah, you can probably see also. So yeah, this is essentially what I got done for that. I have some My Little Pony videos on the horizon. So I have seen The Amazing World of Gumball. I just don't remember much of anything about it. Because I did not grow up with much of it. Have you considered making a separate playlist on your front page for your videos such as reviews? I thought I had that, right? Hang on. Yeah, I do. Koen's Corner. Koen's Corner is essentially my little review slash things that I want to talk about series. So that's pretty much it. So Koen's Corner would be the review playlist. Oh, my bad. Sorry. No, it's all good. Lyrics videos have been a while since I last made those. I actually really want to get back on to making lyric videos because I absolutely loved making these three, especially the one that I did on Don't Stop Me Now from Glee. That one was stupidly fun to make. Me and Strider should do a live stream together sometime. Maybe. Maybe we can do that sometime. We'll see. Owl City was amazing. He was. It's a shame he has not been around making new songs for a while now because I can always come back to his songs. I'd be glad to do a Discord voice chat. Yeah, we can do that sometime. We'll have to wait and see. Unfortunately, I will have to cut this live stream short because I literally just heard that dinner is ready, so that's fun. Hey, it's always nice still living. It's always fun living with at your mom's place still and having a random schedule. So yeah, we'll have to cut this one short, but we will get back to Linux Mint at a later date, I'm sure. For the time being, thanks for watching, I guess, and see you later.